Hey besties, welcome to your 2025 Sagittarius season readings. Okay, so how these work is they go by elements. So it will be in 4 sections. We will have earth signs, then air signs, then water signs, then fire signs. So earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, water signs, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, and then fire signs, even though it is your season, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So how this works is you can listen for your sun sign. You can listen for your rising sign. Always listen for your rising sign. If that's your first house, that's your ascendant. You have to know your birth time to know that. And then listen to what other ones you want to, just because you want to listen to them, right? If you want to look at your birth chart and say, okay, my moon is in Taurus. Moon is what rules my emotions. So I'm going to watch the Taurus section and kind of, listen to it and see how it might, involve my emotional state or like feelings that are coming up right now. Okay. So I have a video up that is the basics of astrology, zodiac, and birth chart. So if you're new to this and you're not understanding what I'm saying when I'm talking about that, please go watch that video. And then you'll understand how to look at your birth chart and how you can use these readings even more so. Because if you're fighting with somebody and you want to know if it's going to end this season, look for your Mars sign and listen to your Mars sign. So there's so many different ways you can listen to this reading. You can also just listen to it and take whatever you want and anything that resonates and leave the rest. That's also okay. So feel free to comment at the end of the video if anything did resonate or didn't resonate. It's always awesome to come back to these readings and see how things kind of played out through the season. So head back and do that to the previous Scorpio season 1 or the previous Libra season 1. So anyways, looking forward to these readings for you guys. Sagittarius season 2025. Earth signs, your card for Sagittarius season is the moon. So earth signs, we have Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. So the moon is a major arcana card. And when I do readings, I always look at what the exact card is like showing me, because like every tarot deck is not the same, right? So we like to look at the art. I kind of like to look at like what's happening in it. And this is a very different depiction than the regular Rider Tarot deck, right? Both of these creatures are on land and they're literally looking up to the moon, right? So I have a very special relationship with this card. When I get the moon card, I always ask people, what is on the dark side of the moon that you're not looking at, right? So like the way the moon looks, it's lit up in the sky and we only see one side. There's a whole other side to the moon that we don't look at. And it's interesting because it's like these creatures are looking up and they have, what appears to be like their telescope and they're howling. And it's like, they're like talking to the moon, almost like they're asking it, like, what are you trying to tell us? Like they're trying to like see it up close, right? So, Sagittarius season is about adventure. It is fun. It is fiery. It is, thinking outside of the box type of energy when it comes to relationships and just the way that we move and not being tied down. But, it's also going into the winter season and it's going into the holiday season and there's planets in retrograde and there are things going on. And it's this idea and this energy of kind of like Spirit's kind of like showing you like grounding your feet down, taking a big deep breath, and literally being like, fuck it, I'm going to turn it around and see what's on the other side. Like that's that you're being asked to look at the other side, look at the dark of the moon, look at the shadows, look at the things beneath the surface. The moon card goes into depth into, what is in the subconscious? Like, what are we not being seen? I personally hate it when I am doing readings about people and love, relationships, or anything like that, or conflict or anything, and the moon card comes up because I'm always like, ah! I'm like, I don't have the whole picture, right? It literally is saying like, you don't have the whole picture right now. Like you need to be looking at the whole picture. You need to be gathering all of the information, not just for yourself, but for parties involved. And like, there's a message with this that's like, people are not what they seem at surface level. Like you have to very much remember that. Maybe you're the kind of person that's like an all or nothing and you put it out there and you say it how it is. That's very Virgo energy, like talking to a wall. Like, this is how it is. What do you mean? You got to remember that not everybody else is that straightforward. Not everybody else can be that intelligently blunt, right? We're not talking like fire sign in your face, I don't care about your feelings blunt. we're talking about like straight, matter of fact, logical, this is what makes sense, this is what I'm going to do. Not everybody presents, or I'm sorry, not everybody um, comes comes across that way. Not everybody is that way. Not everybody communicates that way. So there's a big part of your relationship aspects. And when we talk about relationships in these readings, these are all interpersonal relationships. So we have a relationship with self, relationship with romantic partners, friends, family, coworkers, the collective, right? So again, you have to pause. They're really saying like pause right now and really understand that everybody is not, you're not getting the full picture with everybody. It feels like a very, there's a lot of different things about this card that you can talk about, but that is like what the message really is feeling about. It's like looking at things from different, not necessarily like different perspective, like the hangman, but making sure that you're seeing both sides of the story and that you're understanding that there are things that are still working beneath the surface too, if you will. Let's see. Yeah. Also just like, not just the idea of the things that we're not seeing, but also being very kind of digging more into your subconscious and like letting your subconscious speak to you right now through your intuition and through synchronicities and through patterns that you're seeing show up. Take note. Spirit is saying take note when you're seeing the same type of people. I mean, even if it's as silly as like, wow, 3 times this week, I was at a gas station or a restaurant or a store, and this little old lady started to talk to me. Like, that's a synchronicity, right? So, Spirit is saying, take notes of synchronicities, take notes, the angel numbers, the feathers, all that shit that we see all the time. That is real, right? Like, Spirit cannot work against our free will. So, they give us little signs when they want to get our attention, right? But Spirit is saying, like, you're getting these signs not just because we want your attention, but because we're trying to trigger these things in your subconscious and like activate your intuition so you can bring these things out and you can solve and understand these problems for yourself, right? So this is like a separate message from this card, right? Pay attention to the things that are happening around you, your intuition, the patterns, the people, the numbers, the places, the things we're seeing, the deja vu. Somebody's getting a lot of deja vu. Pay attention to that and literally go deep into your subconscious and try to pull these things out. Ask Spirit, be like, okay, like I feel like this has to do with this. Like this is reminding me, like say this old lady is reminding me of my second grade teacher. Did something happen to me in second grade? Let's pull that up, right? So work with the energy and use your divine guidance and your divine spirit team and your intuition, and just spend a little time kind of like, swimming around in your own subconscious and maybe trying to pull up some memories or some idea or something that then you can see the full part of the moon, right? Like that's part of this seeing the whole picture. And also when you do that, you're going to be able to see why you're repeating certain patterns in this cycle with relationships and people, right? You're gonna be like, oh, that it'll be like this great like aha moment. Okay. Also, hold an extra card for everybody. These are some of my favorite cards. This is the Archangels, Gemstones, and Guardians. So we have an Archangel and a crystal for you to work with. So the crystal for this season, brown agate. Have you been spending time in nature? How does your garden grow? If your name is Mary, I'm gonna laugh. Mary, do you hear that? Whether you live in a small city apartment or on an expansive farm, you can always find a way to establish your roots in the earth and nature. Use the negative ions of the mountains, sea, or air for your overall well-being. If you live in a place that's very cold, and you can't necessarily take your shoes off and go put them in the earth, you can still go out and let the cool air even touch your face. And when you do that, you have a relationship and you have a conversation. You form a relationship with Father Air, right? Air, the air element. It's healing. And, thank you, Father Air and Spirit, for this air that I can breathe and the coolness that I can feel on my skin. And, wind baths are really, really, really beautiful things. And I know that this is earth signs and we're like, I'm grounded in earth. I don't need that. But you know what? You're the bottom, right? Air is the top. Think of the earth being your feet and you're the earth signs. And then we move up and we have fire in the sacral. And then we have the water signs in the heart. And then we have air in the head. Air, you need that balance. You actually do need the balance. So you do need to incorporate some of that air energy. So if anything, get outside and feel some of the air on your face. And then the archangel for you is Thuriel. I apologize to the spirit realm because I never say these archangel names right. I am a caretaker of the earth. I spend time in nature. Well, there you go, earth signs. My connection with fairies is strong. I am a good gardener. It's easy to open myself up to allow light in. I unlock the secrets of my soul. So that right there, you can call in Archangel Thuriel, read about him, see what the energy they work with. And also I think that this is a little nod from the elementals, obviously the fairies, if you want to, call in some elemental energy, especially in this season of life, in this season of the winter, calling in those elementals into your space and to work with you. Also, like, do your research. Don't just be like, hey, Faye, because they can be little sneaky bastards. But that is like pulling in that earth energy that you are. And it's a way for you to bring in that earth energy that sometimes we can lack when we can't be outside. We're, not gardening and not watching flowers bloom and stuff. So you can use the elementals to bring that energy inside. Again, this was for our wonderful earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. I hope that you have a wonderful Sagittarius season. All right, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You got the Knight of Cups. And, I feel like lately a lot of these are advice type readings where they're telling you kind of like what to be cautious of, what to look out for. But this feels very much for air signs like you have this really fun, good, like Knight of Cups energy coming in. Like it feels like fun. It feels like this is more of a message of like, you're going to have some fun coming in. You're going to have some, butterfly feelings. You're going to have some like that, like, romance, charm, imagination, beauty, all these things that are associated with this card. Like you're going to have like this good, like this is a really, really, really good time for you to like be bringing this energy in. And this energy is going to be coming in with people of your life if you're open to it. I'm going to tell a quick story. The way that readings work and the word psychic and it's like predicting of the future. Excuse me. Everything is up to free will. Okay. So here's a little story. I had a friend who's a reader. She told this woman she was going to meet the love of her life at the holiday party for her work this year. Right. So then the holidays come and go. We get to the springtime and this woman goes up to my reader friend again at an event. Hey, I didn't meet the love of my life last year at the holiday party. You said I would. You know what year that was? That was 2020. She said, did you have a holiday party at work because of the, 2020 and everything was going on? Oh, well, no. Oh, well, shit. There you go. You know what I mean? So like that story is like the first thing that popped to mind for whatever reason. If there's like something that you guys need to understand about things that are happening, or maybe like you keep thinking that things are going to happen and then they don't, it's because everything is subject to change because of free will, not just because of your free will, but like the involvement of the way that you move around the people, right? So there's this message of like, first off, if you're choosing to interact with certain people and they're always reacting a certain way, your outcome is always going to be the same. So like, for example, if you know that the person that you're talking to or your husband or your child or your coworker always acts in a certain fucking way, it doesn't matter how you show up different because that's a them problem and they're going to keep acting that way. So spirit's like, don't, say that the process doesn't work. Don't say manifestation isn't real. Don't say I'm doing all the work and things aren't showing up the way they are. It's not just you that is involved in this. There's other people that are involved. And what's the definition of crazy? Doing the same thing over and over again and thinking that there's gonna be a different result. It's the people involved, right? So that is like a big message that's coming through at the beginning before I even dive through in the card is those couple things I just said and applying them wherever you need to in your life. Like you needed to hear that, right? Like also taking full responsibility for your thoughts, manifesting your own reality in your thoughts. My God, air signs, you're the best at it. Making shit up. You're making shit up. Okay, I'm going to stop with the mini lecture. Sometimes that happens. Cups, this is water energy, emotions, feeling, creativity, love. Okay, Knights, they take action. They're passionate. They're determined. They're about moving things in motion. They're about transformation. I'm really getting this idea of like transformation. It just feels like they take action, like I said, and Sagittarius is a fire sign, and Sagittarius it really is a fun energy, right? So you're being supported to take action and transform your relationships and your life and your habits. Like have some fucking fun is the way that I hear it. Like literally get out of your head and get in your body and have some fun. Fun could literally be like having what they just showed me when I was a kid. One of my best friends when I was growing up, we used to have a movie night in my basement and we would just get junk food, right? Which I know a lot of people did this, and we'd get like we'd get individual size stuff. So we could like eat like a bunch of stuff. Instead of like a full bag of chips, we would get like the little ones. We get like 10 different ones. And we would watch TV and eat all this candy and sit up and play video games until one time I literally bruised my tailbone, you guys. I bruised my tailbone. We're talking like 1998 video games, old school Nintendo, because I sat on my ass for so long. That's the kind of fun some of y'all need to be having, right? Like just old school fun and like things that make you feel good. And they're saying like allowing yourself to like shift into that energy is part of your transformation. The Knight of Cups, this is also a person, right? It can represent you, it can represent who you need to be right now. Like they're saying like you embrace this part of your life, but also for some of you, this energy is coming into you. This person is coming into you. This person is the knight in shining armor. They're chivalrous, they're romantic, they're honorable. This is the kind of energy that's going to sweep you off your feet, right? So some of you do have a lover coming in hard and fast. If you let the people go that are doing the same shit over and over again, that is not your knight of shining armor. That is not. I know I'm also getting this vision of one of my friends who has problem at work, and she keeps going department, and nothing gets better. And it's like draining and sucking the life out of her. And I'm like, that's because that energy, that part of it, like that's the stuck part. You need to be outside of it. Your knight, applying this to work, right? Your knight cannot come in and swoop you off your feet and show you what to do. And excuse me, I'm getting this weird throat chakra frog in my throat. If you're stuck in that, right? And the knight in this situation that's coming in to sweep her off her feet is the new job opportunity that's going to bring her all the joy and transformation and happiness she wants. But she's so stuck in the cloud and muddied in the waters of where she is, she can't let that energy come in, right? So be open, you guys. Be open to this Knight of Cups energy. It's like, okay, Spirit, show me where I can let go so I can be open to this beautiful energy coming in that's wanting to sweep me away, wanting to show me joy, wanting to show me love, wanting to show me creativity, wanting to fill me with passion, right? Like there's a huge window for that for you right now. Also, let's look at our angel crystal card. Okay, so what do we get? Oh, talk about transformation. Moldavite, are you able to think beyond the ordinary? Is your heart open to love and inner peace? Awaken your consciousness and decide you want to see things from a greater perspective. Increased self-knowledge naturally allows for healing your heart, the relationship with others, and relationship you have with yourself. You have unlimited potential. Listen, there's a lot of talk about Moldavite, and the idea of Moldavite is that it's kind of this trusting situation that Spirit's going to bring shit to the surface that needs to be cleared so we can elevate and grow better and stronger and healthier as human beings, right? So, I said to Spirit one time a couple years ago, like it was the most painful thing I had done in a long time. And it took a lot of faith to say, like, please remove the people from my life that don't serve my highest purpose and my highest power. And two of the people that I cared about more than anything at the time of my life were gone within a month. And it wasn't easy, but I knew it was better, right? It's like anything. It's like breaking an addiction. It's not easy to break an addiction, but in the end, it's better when you do it. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid. It's the same with like any habit, right? Like you might be tired and you might not want to go to the gym, but once you start going and the way that you feel after, you're like, oh, that was worth it. So there is this big message with like, it's okay that nobody wants to deal with pain and suffering. Nobody wants that. We don't want that energy, but sometimes you have to be willing to let these things go that you feel like are part of you and feel with the pain and the loss, because in the end, like you're going to feel so much better, right? Like you think about this time, even back when you were a kid and you got your heart broken for the first time, and you thought, I'm never gonna find that again. Oh my God, they were the love of my life. This was the greatest thing ever. They were the hottest person ever. Oh my God, it was the best sex ever. If you're, a young adult, whatever. Oh my God, never again. Like the attachment people have to their first love. And then you meet somebody else and you're like, what the fuck was I even thinking? Literally, apply that to every situation and know that you're going to look back and be like, man, I loved my old apartment. I loved my old apartment so much. I didn't want to give it up. Then when I got to my new apartment, I was like, oh my God, my old place was so gross and unsafe. And like, what did I hold on to that for so long? Now, mind you, we're all in different places on our journey, and sometimes that's part of it. And we move when we're ready, but Spirit is saying, you're fucking ready, okay? Archangel support, Raphael, my homie. My consciousness is awake. I am aware. I feel the limitless nature. I feel the limitless nature of all life. I believe in unlimited potential and possibilities. I am creative and prosperous. I fully embrace extraordinary wealth. My heart is open to giving and receiving love. If you believe, you shall receive. Also, Archangel Raphael shows up as the color green. He's the healer of healers. So if you're listening to this and you are an empath, a giver, a healer of some sort, a caregiver, a teacher, you work in this field, Raphael is the person that you call on to help support you. And please remember that we don't just deserve love and support and happiness because we give or take care of others. We deserve that literally just for existing as human beings. You do not have to do anything for anybody in order to be worthy of receiving love and to be worthy of feeling good in your body, to feel safe in your body. It's not a trade. It's not a trade, okay? So air signs, I love you. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, go have some fun. All right, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I'm going to say this card has come up in the last couple of collective readings that I've done. And the first thing I thought when I saw this time when I pulled it, though, was the peace after the pause, right? Like the peace after the pause. The peace after the pause. That's what I just kept hearing. The peace after the pause, the peace after the difficult time. Like the stillness is coming. So, there is part of this message in this card, right? Like the hangman. Again, like I said, it's come up. It might have even come up for water signs recently. It's about surrendering to an experience. It's about being willing to change your point of view. It's about stopping and looking at your own belief systems and how you're getting in your own way. Sometimes it's really about learning how to like put your ego aside, and it can be uncomfortable. I don't think I've talked about this when we talked about this card recently, that like it can be uncomfortable to do this. Like water signs, you could be coming out of a very, very, very uncomfortable time where I know for me, my Cancer stellium in the 12th house ass 40% water in my chart. Hello, the message is for me. Are you kidding me? Like I had no choice the last couple of months but to pause and literally, when I say the only choice I had was to fucking surrender to the situation, it was not easy. And personally, I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I kept my cool the entire time until I didn't. And then when I didn't keep my cool anymore, I actually felt a fucking sense of relief because I knew that was like the breaking point at the end when I was like, okay, like the relief is coming, the fresh air is coming, like, so it's almost more like the pause and the surrender. It is like we've been in this kind of liminal state, it feels like, water signs, and it feels like now we are on the brink of like, it is for a lot of people, it's like the final time to let go, right? Like you've done the work, you've changed the perspective, you've done A, B, C, D, and E, and it's like, fuck, where am I gonna, like, where is it gonna, the break gonna be? And it's like, that's the point we're at now, right? So it's like we're in the last little hole, like this season, like this is a positive thing. It's a good thing. It is a calm, quieter season, but now now let's take all the shit that we've learned, all the experiences that we've had, everything that we've brought to the surface, the new perspectives, the new thoughts, the way that we feel now that we've put our ego to the side and we've seen things from people's point of views. And now is the time to move forward in a different direction using those things, right? Like this person, he's actually smiling and he's not even paying attention to the people around him, right? Like he is like, bro, I'm almost there. Like we're almost done, right? So like just pause and reflect on the growth that you've had in the last couple of months. Really think about some of these situations. And Spirit is saying, like, you need to pat yourself on the back and recognize the changes that you have made and how you are moving different than an old version of you would have. You really, truly are. And even if you're experiencing some of the same things that you did before, you didn't deal with them the same this time. You didn't. You really, truly didn't. And so this Sagittarius season is just a time of meditation and that last step of letting go and breathing in the fresh air and like, leaning into the new way and stepping into that new version of you and doing it with strength and pride and knowing that like you've put in the work, you've changed your mind about things. There might be people that are still creeping in and questioning, and you're going to pause and you're going to say, you know what? No, you know what? I did this. I examined it. I looked. I went within, and no, I'm going to stick to my guns about this, right? Or there might be things where you're like, you know what? After I sat with that a while, maybe things are a little bit different. Also, um, this is the story that's coming to mind. And this is how Spirit works with me when they give me stories for like understanding. This is how it works for me when I do readings. Um, One of my just dear friends has a huge relationship with Jesus in the Christian way, right? Like reads his Bible, loves Christ. The very rare Christian these days that actually is like that true faithful Christian, just the most beautiful energy. And that person knows what I do for a living. They know my heart. We talk about our relationships with Spirit being very different. And because they are a true follower of Christ in that sense, there is no judgment. There's nothing but love, And we've gotten a lot closer recently, and it's made me reevaluate and think about my relationship with Jesus, because my relationship with Jesus has nothing to do with church, has nothing to do with organized religion, has nothing to do with the Bible. It is not that. Like I've always worked with Jesus as this, medicine man, healer, wisdom pusher, that, just cared about human beings and wanted to spread non-judgment and love and caring and help people, right? And so the point of this is, I've been in this hangman energy myself. I'm in a hangman year. I don't know if you guys saw the light. The light just brightened and the sun came out when I was talking about Jesus. And it's making me reevaluate the relationship in the ways that I can work and invite Jesus in my life in different ways, set and not in a religious way, because that ain't for me. That'll never be for me. That's not the Jesus that I know and love, right? But it's interesting how I've had to put my ego and my aside and like, I was raised in the church, I went to church every Sunday my entire life. I was raised Lutheran, in case you're wondering. And I have a strong dislike and distaste in my mouth for lots of religious stuff, and I've had to put my ego. I even say this, I have chosen to put my ego to the side. I have chosen to try to look at things from a different perspective. I have chosen to have these conversations, right? Change of perspective. And because of that, I'm now in this pivotal space where I'm like, okay, how can I evolve my relationship with this person as part of who I am as a spiritual practitioner and human being, right? So I hope that story is landing in the way that I'm wanting it to, and you're understanding how sometimes it's not just it's not easy, right, to have a change of perspective and to really have an open mind about how to let things in and how to say, you know what, I'm going to see this from like an entire viewpoint and try to like take off my blinders and take off my own hate and my own issues and these old my problems that I have with the situation and really try to learn from it and grow from it. That, so it's like we're past the pausing part and we're in Sagittarius season. We're in the actual energy of like, how are we now? And like the last 10%, pulling all these pieces together and then deciding how we're going to move forward with like this new version of ourselves. So our crystal and our card, I did no idea how to say this crystal. I've never heard of this kind of quartz before. And mind you, I don't know that I've ever pulled this card before. So, have you noticed that people and situations are reflecting your thoughts or your feelings or thoughts? Pay attention to the messages these mirrors provide. Take stock of what work you need to do to improve your self-awareness and personal growth, right? You know what's funny is I was talking to my buddy the other day, and he said something about how he was going to be okay because he had Jesus. And then there was a sign, literally a sign, when I was responding to him, of a man that held a sign that said, Jesus loves you. And I said, oh my gosh, I just saw this sign. You know, he said to me, he said, I love how Jesus keeps showing up in your life. And I was like, bro, that was for you, not me. But again, the mirror, right? I was like, wait a minute. What's going on here? You know? Then we have Archangel. I never say his name right. My apologies. Zadkiel. And so hopefully some of you guys are laughing at me right now. I objectively observe myself in my interactions with others. I watch my words and actions from various perspectives. I work towards self-improvement at every opportunity. I notice the mirrors and projections without judgment or preconceptions. Okay, this is literally various perspectives, what we were just talking about with the Hangman card. Okay, so water signs, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. You are in the end. You are at the light at the end of the tunnel. You have done the work. You have been through the shit. You have, changed perspective and stuff. There will always be things that come up that we need to work on. But for this portion of your life, this season, these things that have just happened, just rest easy and knowing that like you are a changed person and you need to give yourself more grace and just allow this season and this time for you to integrate, these lessons you've learned and these new stories and situations that have come up for you. Okay. Have a great Sagittarius season. All right. Fire signs. Happy birthday, Sagittarius. And we have Leo and Aries. Okay. So interesting enough, we have the Page of Cups. And earlier we had the Knight of Cups. So remember, cups are matters of the heart, creativity, love, water energy. And, the pages, they're the babies. They're the students. Page energy is, they're receptive. They're curious. They're open. Look at the energy on her face. Like, look at the smile. Like, she's holding the cup. She has the fish in it. She's like, I'm ready to go. So I feel like the energy for fire signs is allowing yourself to be in this space and to embrace the Page of Cups energy in your life right now. Like, literally, his spirit is saying, like, get curious, get creative. Like, literally, it's like inner child type stuff where it's like, the world is my oyster. I'm open to opportunities. I'm open to love. I hear like I'm even like open to fantasy. Like, it's a little bit of like the rose colored glasses. Like, I literally hear just like, fuck it. Like, have fun. Like, be open. Like, go back to the start and say like, okay, spirit, like, show me what you got. Show me these. I'm open and I'm welcome to these great opportunities. Like, literally, it's this huge emphasis on opening your heart space and just right now, just like literally being curious about life. A lot of you are going to have like a new, fresh beginning. It feels very much like those like butterflies that you have, like you're like, when you're younger, or like, yeah, like very much like that high school, like, young 20s when it's like, oh my God, I've never been wined and dined like this. Like, I've never like felt like this like giddiness. Like, it feels like you're going to have like those kinds of opportunities come up. Like, and here's the thing, you have to embrace it, right? So it's funny because, this fire energy, it's like, we want to go, we want to do, like, let's move forward, yada, yada, yeah. And spirit is like, we need to like lean more into like literally the, like a 14-year-old girl in love for the first time, like that energy where it's like, it's just fun and it's exciting and we're open to possibilities. And here's the thing, we're not, think about that they are not scorned. They don't have baggage. They're not bringing trauma into relationships, right? So spirit is literally saying like, where can you drop all that shit? Where can you forget it? Where can you see like, it's almost like this like little underlying little bit of that Scorpio energy where it's like, well, I know that you burned me before, so I carry that with me. And there is a sense of, they're asking you to like, okay, they keep using this example of where we have like the earth energies at our feet and then the fire energies in our sacral, and then move up to the heart energy and then the air energies in our head. They're asking you, like, they're saying like, move up into that heart space and let that energy truly be what's leading you in this season. I almost feel like I need to pull another card for fire signs because it's your season. Sagittarius, and the message from this card is very straightforward. So let's see what else you can get. We also got, Four of Pentacles. Okay, so look at his face. Looks a little, I knocked my microphone over, hoping that wasn't too loud. Okay, so here's another little message to come along with this. Fours are about the four. Think of, if you know tarot, think of the four legs of a chair or a table, right? This is how you remember this. These are about stability and these are about structure, right? This person is holding on. Pentacles energy is earth. It's that abundance, that root chakra, right? So think about it's funny because imagine this solar plexus area where all your fire and passion is, and then they're saying like spread it out, right? Like send some energy down to be grounded, then send some energy up to the heart space. So right now, instead of working from that usual typical sacral and solar plexus energy, they're wanting you to work from root chakra energy and heart energy, right? So in the energy of the Page of Cups and also it's funny because like Sagittarius, adventure, can't tie me down. I think this is sort of saying a little bit of caution of like, do be careful. Careful is a word used cautiously, of not necessarily just your spending habits, but like making sure that while you're in the pursuit of the Page of Cups, you are still being conscious of your energy, your time, your body. They're saying like, make sure this season you're taking good care of your body. You're not overindulging in alcohol and sugar and food. You're still, if you do, you're going to the sauna the next day and drinking a lot of water and still moving your body. So there's this message of like finding the balance between these two energies. A lot of people look at this card, especially in the way this is depicted, and it's very much about like, where do I need to let go? Where do I need to like let go of resistance? But I feel like that part of the message is aligning with like, where do I need to let go, and where am I holding on to like my stubbornness so I can allow that Page of Cups energy coming in? And what I'm really getting from this and then me pulling it as a second card is like finding the balance of the stable and the structure and taking care of yourself in this physical body, and then allowing yourself to step up into that heart space and really balancing like the emotions and the heart and the love and the feeling, the groundedness and the tangibleness and like the reality of like still having to take care of your like physical body and your physical self. And they're saying like, don't get lost, right? Like don't get lost in the emotions and the passion and the fire and that normal fire energy. Like sink into these two energies of earth and heart. And for this season, find that balance and steadiness of allowing this inner child to feel joy and have new experiences and new curiosity and new love and new ideas coming in and having fun. And then being grounded and stable and taking care of our body and mindful of the way that we're moving. They're saying like pause in our normal fire energy and allow these two energies to kind of like move and swirl around us and engulf us. And then we're going to come out at the other end and we're going to be an even better version of it's like our fire energy is going to be like amplified in like the way that we can move and get things done. So again, microphone down. We're authentic and real over here. We don't try to make things perfect. My Virgo moon is evolved. Golden calcite. I love golden calcite. Calcite is very healing. Do you feel like you're fulfilling your soul purpose? Do you know what your strengths are? It's time to become the person you are meant to be. Align yourself with a strong sense of self and actualize your full potential. Live up to your dreams, desires, and contracts and radiate your excellence. This is why I think, and this is to me very much aligns with what I just said, because if you allow yourself to tap into these other parts of yourself, that is where you will find the full potential of who you truly are, right? And like I said, if you do that for this season, then you're going to be the better version of yourself when you come out really at your full potential. Archangel Ariel, it is safe for me to shine my light brightly. I am self-confident. I recognize my self-worth. It is easy for me to set boundaries. My internal brilliance shines. I have the courage to be all that I can be. Okay. I wish you guys could see my face right now. This fire energy of like solar plexus, very Leo energy. Yes, it is safe for you to shine your light brightly. And I guess this, I kind of hear is like, don't let anybody try to put your fire out. Don't let anybody to try to, say that you're too much. Don't let anybody try to, there is a fine line between cockiness and confidence. And as long as you're self-aware and you're walking the right side of that line, then fuck naysayers. So happy Sagittarius season, fire signs, Sagittarius, happy birthday, Leo, Aries.